What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? Again, we are back with some gang conversation with D.Brooks Flair Motorsports. I appreciate y'all dropping in, kicking it with me, and the rest of the Whistle Gang conversation. If you don't care, smash the like. If it's your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. You know, we're definitely trying something different here. We're gonna talk to like several different people, YouTube DIY guys that are doing their thing. What up, Dre? What up, Jeremiah? Appreciate y'all dropping in. With no more delay, we're gonna go ahead and bring Mr. Brooks in. SSB, what is happening, my man? SSB was good. He's a look. We got Dre, Pofo, we got SSB, both G body men. D Brooks dropping the G body footage. Of course, we're gonna get into that with him. So boom.
What's
D,
up? What's up? What's up, man? What's good, man?
hey man, I appreciate you taking your time to come hang out over here on Swaps' channel for a little bit, man, and we'll just get into a little conversation about what you got going on over in the YouTube world, your builds and such. So for the one who don't know who you are, go ahead and give them an intro of who you
Um,
are.
well, my name is D Brooks. I got a channel. I'm from Ohio. I do LS swaps. I used to do them for people. I was doing that for a little bit, and then I basically closed my shop after my lease was up, and now I'm just kind of doing my own thing at home, trying to get back into making content and making that like my first priority, along with finishing my own builds. That's kind of where I'm at right now with the pace. That's where I want to be. So other than that, I'm a blue collar worker. I do electrical work every day in, day out. That's why I have the conduit money build. People always ask me what's that's about. What is that about? When I bought my Regal, as when I first started my career as an electrician. So that's the conduit money build. That car is the conduit money build. So for people that's been around, my channel used to be called Conduit Money, and it's still alive. That's why every now and then I put it up there, because that's our focus. Getting our builds done. So, but yeah, that's me. I'm a family man. So yeah.
Definitely. What up, Schaefer? We got a couple people in here saying what's up. I appreciate that, Sweet Pea. Thank you. Um, as far as the conduit money build, what is that? Just a Buick Regal, right?
Yeah, just a 87 Buick Regal Limited, originally a 307 car, I believe. 3-speed automatic. You want me to tell them what we've done so far?
Well, we had talked about, I can't remember who it was. I was talking to individuals about some of the, how a build starts as just a basic whatever, and then sometimes they end up becoming totally something different. So, like for instance, your conduit money started out as a factory swap.
Yeah, it started off as the first car I ever was. I just bought it as a car that I was going to LS swap with no knowledge of doing an LS swap. I drove it home. I think I can't remember, because I've bought so many cars now. I think I paid $1,200, or I think I paid $1,000. I can't remember. It was less than $1,500. That's what I paid for the car. And I drove it home from the west side of Columbus. And it was a scary ride. The steering wheel was like, like this and everything like that. It was real floaty and everything. And it literally died. Like, it literally cut off right in my driveway as I was backing it into the garage. And it was perfect. I was like, this is going to work out. It waited till we got home to break down. But it took me a while to just pull the engine. Like, I wasn't comfortable with doing that kind of work when I first bought that car. That car was the car that initially broke me in to these like old schools. I had did a cam on my G8, but I didn't pull the engine. Pulling the engine and trans, it just seemed so intimidating at first. And with the Regal, it taught me a lot. So I always say, yeah, I spent the most money on this car and learned how to do everything on this car, but I paid tuition. I've done several swaps since buying that car, and I still haven't completed that car. That's because I want it to be done a certain way. So,
Okay.
Everything we do first, the turbo and stuff like that, I want to do it on that first, and then do it on the other cars because that's like my guinea pig.
Okay. So as you were saying, the first, swap, and now we're leaning toward the first turbo on that particular build. You said something about a G8, so that's saying that you're not new to the LS platform. It just, it was just in a factory style setup.
Right. Yeah. The G8 was just, that was my first LS powered car. 6.0, and my buddy worked at a dealership, and he had a friend that worked there with him, and he had a GTO, and it sounded cool. And I was like, man, how can I make my car sound like that? This is me thinking before, I'm building cars and different things. Before I got into the point of doing cams and stuff, I had been in the Honda game for a while, and basically it was just suspension and wheels. That was pretty much the extent of my Honda game. Or I would buy a car that might have already been boosted or trade for it. I was just flipping and selling. And I was like, man, I want mine to sound like beefier or stronger. And he's like, man, you got to do a cam. I was like, how much that costs? So the first time we did a cam on the G8, I actually paid someone to do it. I paid someone to do the first cam on that G8. And, I was thinking bigger is better, bigger is better, bigger is better. And we ended up going too big.
Gotcha.
Too big on it. So I ended up having to do the second cam myself because I paid $1,600 to do the first one. So I was like, I ain't paying them again. And, of course, you had all the added cost, the parts and the springs. That was just what I paid the guy. And I didn't have no idea what the market was, how much you pay someone to do a cam. That's just like, okay, that seems like a good deal. But, yeah, that's how I learned.
What up, Destroyer 1320 in here? Yes, sir. Appreciate you dropping in there, sir. Man, I didn't realize how much it costs. I didn't realize the price to, someone would charge to drop a cam in. You know what I mean? Granted, this may have been some time ago. I don't understand that cost has went up or come down. There's no telling right now. What up, LS Chevy Rider 254 in the building?
Shout out to everybody in the comments. I can't see y'all, but shout out to everybody.
I'm sorry, man. Here. Let me go ahead and I'll bring them up. I'm sorry. We got Big Chief in here first. Appreciate that, Big Chief. Dre Pofo.
What up,
yes,
Dre?
Sir. You got Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, what's up?
Jeremiah, he's been over doing transmissions and all now. I see that.
He getting to it, man. He getting to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got SSB.
SSB. Yeah, man.
Larry Thomas. Hello, Larry. Thank you for dropping in.
LT. Sweet Pea.
And of course, got Team Schaefer dropping in, man. I appreciate that, Schaefer. Schaefer been in there getting it in too. He's been getting it in also, I see.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are getting to it.
Mm-hmm. Now on your okay, no, we're gonna go back to when you said something about you were doing swaps for people and now you no longer do. What when you were doing those types, what exactly, swaps was you doing vehicle wise?
Basically tried to stay in my niche, with the old school stuff and GM, slowly getting out of my comfort zone. The Caddy wasn't a direct bolt in like I thought it was going to be. So that, stretched me a little bit further. And it was sort of a complete car, already had paint. I had been used to working on cars that were very much in a rough, besides my G8, but very much in a project environment. You know, the paint you're not really worried about. You're not worried about putting the hood on the floor over here. I couldn't do that with that car. So I was doing swaps on the Cadillac. I did one on, well, I started doing on the Jeep. Well, I ended up losing that job. He fired me. He's my buddy. He didn't really fire me, but he's my buddy. He ended up having another shop take on the project because I closed my garage or whatever. But, you know, I was able to get him situated. And then, of course, the Denali. We did a cam in that. And then my Monte Carlo.
Forgot about that. Y'all get a chance, man. Everything that he's talking about is documented in on his channel, you know. And when you go check him out, he's, like I said, there is documented from the Cadillac, the was it Suburban or Top? What's Suburban, wasn't it?
Yukon, yep, Yukon. Same thing,
Yukon. Yep. Yeah, man. Hey, he had that thing cutting up in the streets. Well, you know, again, that was just supposed to be what, a cam swap, right?
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be a manifold bolt. It was supposed to be an exhaust manifold bolt.
He went a manifold bolt to a cam swap to a head swap to a full exhaust, correct?
Yeah, and then to a a transfer case swap.
Yeah, transfer case swap. So you be getting it in over there. That's for sure, man. Yeah, that's for sure. You tackle some things that I've never messed with as far as, you know, doing the transfer case swap, because you went from all-wheel drive to two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive to four-wheel drive?
All-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. We had to shorten the drive shaft because they're different lengths, and then I was able to keep it in two-wheel because that's what I wanted to do, burnouts, but they only came all-wheel drives on the Denali's and the Escalades.
Yeah. So let's say you was over getting it in. Yeah. Definitely, man. Y'all need to check him out. The link will be in this description. The link is in the description of Big Chief just dropped it. Appreciate that, Big Chief.
Shout out to
Black
Big
Rain Black Rain was wanting to know what year.
The truck was 2002 Yukon Denali. Yep. I got the comments now, guys.
Oh, okay. I'm a little late on the draw here on the comments. But now, you know, there's just like anything else, man. When it's dealing with these cars and stuff, man, there's ups and downs. We've talked extensively about the we'll say the Cadillac, for instance, whenever you had an issue with it, you know. So again, y'all need to go check out the channel, check out the Cadillac, because that car to me I've seen the car in person, slick car, very nice car. And what the 5.3 did for it, just enhanced it and definitely gave it more power, you know, versus the old school. So, you know, the plus part about when you were saying, you know, the car was nice, you can't just put the hood somewhere. But, you know, again, the plus part about dealing with some of these older cars and you drop in a newer engine, you have a gain horsepower wise and reliability wise from what you had before. And you may have saved yourself some money in the long run too, because there's no telling what the cost of some of these rebuilds would be engine wise if you wanted to stay with a factory setup.
Yeah,
so that's a plus. Big time plus. And then as far as your projects now, what you got going on now since you shut down the shop? What is your projects you got now?
Well, as you guys may or may not know, I dropped a video just like a couple days ago. I liquidated like a whole bunch of cars. You know, I'm a one day maybe kind of guy. I'll buy cars and one day maybe we'll get this one done. One day maybe we'll get that one. One day maybe we'll get that one. And, you know, we try to do that, right? You know, I buy all these cars. So, and a lot of times I buy them in the worst condition because I'm cheap, right? So I had a Trans Am, another Trans Am, a red Silverado that was 99, and a GTP. and a wagon. I sold them all in 30 days. So obviously I liquidated all those cars, and recently, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag on this one. But recently, I picked up another Monte Carlo that we LS swapped within that same 30 days that we sold all those other ones and moved out. And then we started the turbo build. We started learning how to TIG weld, and now we're working on building our own hot side. I did buy manifolds and stuff like that for the turbo, but I got to do the up pipe or whatever, and then the down pipe. So I'm kind of building that and learning how to do the welds on that. The other LS swap Monte Carlo that I bought this year, it's right now just a small cam car. I want to boost that eventually as well. Maybe do some. I want to do a mini spool on that. I'm committed to doing a mini spool on it. I want to see what it's like for myself. And then the most recent purchase is a small block Chevy Monte Carlo SS. It's a 86, and I'm gonna just keep that small block Chevy. So
did y'all find out through watching his channel that you'll see that D Brooks has a thing for F bodies? But from by hearing here, it sounds like he's got a thing for G bodies.
Yeah.
What up, Zay? Appreciate you dropping in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Black Rain said he subbed, but he ain't getting the notifications. I don't know what that is, man. You may have to. I don't know how it works, man. I'm still learning my way through it all too.
Black Rain, from what I understand, man, and this is like what I've seen on LS's channel, LS Sherry Rider. I guess he tells people to unsubscribe and then subscribe again and then hit the bell. I don't know if that works. I know for a fact that I've subscribed to people that's been in the comments before, and then I'll never see a video. You ever feel like that? Like you'll. Yep. I'm not saying they don't make them. I'm just saying I'll never get a notification. It's like, man, what happened to them people that was in Swap's, comment section? We subscribed to them. I even smashed the bell and everything, and it's like, I think the algorithm sometimes you just got to go check on your people, man. If you really want to watch their videos, sometimes you just got to type them in and go check on it, because they still going, regardless if you have the bell smash, I think they're going to send their recommended videos to you first.
Yes.
But even before your bell smash, guys.
We got Cortez Resto mods in here. Y'all definitely go ahead.
I was going to say, I definitely appreciate all the subs and, everybody, supporting the channel and everything, supporting the bills, rock with me, the comments. Thank you. Okay.
And then we are in Ohio, correct? I see you got the Ohio State, hat on. For those who don't know, he's in Ohio, man. And me and D Brooks have linked up several times, man, because I feel like good people rock with good people. Not that I ain't, some of the people that I haven't rocked with yet, it's yet to happen. You know what I mean? So I was doing our try to get into collabs, because I'm all for collabs, man. Trisha Rowan, yes, hey, y'all don't mind, drop in the comments #WhistleGang. Do that for me.
Can y'all see the merch?
You see that? That's and again, I was asked how that all started, and Cortez is in the comments. It was in a live, and I want to say you were there. There was a lot of us there, and he says his words were, "Since Swaps jumped me into the Whistle Gang," and he pulls out a turbo. Yeah. When he said, "Jump me into the Whistle Gang," I said, "Oh man, we got something here. So that's Cortez, man, appreciate that for real. That's a something that just started out as a pulling out a turbo and showing everyone, now is a movement.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
What were we calling the podcast before? Was it just you had started a series, right? You were doing
a Whistle Gang Wednesdays, but my schedule and some schedules, we would do the lives and stuff, didn't jive well, so like for instance, I have to do them a lot earlier than others, because of my work schedule. or I would have to do them later than others because of my work schedule. So sometimes that just didn't jive with other people's work schedules. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right
but
on.
we're gonna definitely get back in the mix. Give people a little bit of what we got going on, but individually, we're gonna holler at several different people here that's definitely got the DIY thing going on. Hey Zay, appreciate you sharing that out. And got the DIY thing going on, playing with I mean, it's not necessarily LS, engines itself. It's just you out there doing your thing and showing. What brought you to bring your content to YouTube? What made you do the YouTube thing?
Chris Jones, Beast Mode Jones, from Pump Chasers. What was it? Physiques of Greatness. So he was like, I had a YouTube channel before that, but I wasn't really interested in being a content creator until I started watching his content. And it's not car related. He does some car stuff. He started doing some vlogs with some other car guys, but that was the first vlogger that I ever watched. He was vlogging his weight loss and his muscle building and bodybuilding and stuff, and I was into that at the time. And shout out to Chris Jones, by the way. And that got me into it. And then I was like, man, I want to do something, but it's got to be something I'm passionate about. I couldn't keep myself on the diet. You know what I mean? It was tough. It was like, well, this ain't working out. The car thing, I'm interested in, I'm passionate about. And, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a tax expert, but if you do it as a business, you have some write-offs too. So you're making content, if you're making money, you monetize, you can write off some of this stuff as a business. That's what I think. So that's what I do. So you guys do your thing, but that's kind of my logic. And eventually we'll get somewhere with it. So
there we go.
That's my thought process.
Yeah. Now on the you're saying the Regal and the Monte Carlo themselves, are they just going to be street cruisers? They may see some track action, showtime. Do you pull up and park type stuff with the shows, go on the show?
Definitely. Right now, they're just like trophy cars for me, like fun. If I build it, this is what I've built. It's kind of like an accomplishment. Take it to the meets, maybe, take it to the racetrack, all-purpose vehicle. Everything except for AC, right? AC owns me at this point, so I still haven't conquered that level of the build where I've been able to add AC to one of these cars. So once we get to that point, it might be a cruiser, but right now it's more of like a Sunday night cruiser. It's not like a daily level. I want to get to a point where one of them is dailyable for sure.
Yes.
Comfortable.
Yeah. Right. Exactly right. And then as far as the any of the bills themselves, are you LS swapping them out of necessity, or are you just doing it as okay, this mode is not running, so we're going to drop this one in? As we talked before about, the savings in doing so with doing it yourself. You know what I mean? Because the cost would be totally different. You drop it off and give it to someone else and tell them to do it.
Yeah. The Regal, it was more or less like, let's just do this. This is cool. I want to make big power. It can't be that hard. Let's go for it. I was chasing the same kind of feeling I had with my G8. I knew what it was capable of, but I never reached that full potential. And then on the Monte Carlo, the one that I picked up before I moved out of the garage, I bought it pretty much with the expectation that the engine that was in it was bad. So I was like, man, this is right up my alley. Let's just throw an LS in there. We'll keep the transmission. We'll keep the drive shaft. We'll keep everything else in the car factory. And we'll just throw the LS in there. I got a couple engines laying around. And that's why I did that one. And that's the same reason why I'm not doing the SS at this point. Right now, it's running, it's driving. I'm going to try to patch that one up and save it. It runs strong. There's some quirks here and there, things that need, tweaked and different things. But if I can keep the small block running for a while, we'll do that until these other LSs are, turboed and where I want them. I don't want to open up too many cans, or, I don't want to open up too much, light too many fires before I can put these other ones out. So kind of learned that before, and I'm still doing the same thing, but I'm trying not to get to that same extreme.
Yeah. But you said something about welding. So with the process of doing these, you're teaching yourself how to weld. And so it's another trade on top of being an electrician. So that's a plus, man. The things that working with these cars can bring out of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only are you just regular welding, you said TIG welding.
Yeah. I have one piece that I've TIG welded that's been on the road. I'll be upfront about that. Remember I told you about my oil pan? I didn't weld the oil pan, but the part where the exhaust comes down, because these were like block huggers, and at 90 is over, I had to cut the 90 and bring it up so it wouldn't be so low. And I welded that to the collector header. You know how they have the little part that comes off the collector, where the O2 sensor comes in. I welded that to the 90 so I could bring it up off the ground and get it close to the oil pan. Well, that became the issue later, but that part never broke. So it received some impact from the ground, but the weld didn't break. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So we got Jeremiah asking about your the mini truck.
Oh,
your Mazda.
Yeah. Why didn't I mention that? Yeah. So the Mazda is here. That was my dad's car. It was passed down to me in the family, and when I got it, it wasn't something that I was expecting to take on right when I got it. And I'm still trying to find the right build for it, like what's going to make me excited about it. Obviously, I'm going to keep the truck, but I need to figure out a way to make it mine. You know what I mean? Like, what, besides the fact that it was my dad's truck, I need to figure out a way to make me love it. I love it, but I need to make it mine somehow. Right now, it's good the way it is. Yeah, I don't know. It needs a little bit of engine work. It runs and drives, but I'm not motivated to do anything to it right now. That's just where I'm at with it. I'm not motivated to do anything to it besides keep it clean and drive it, around town to the parts store here and there. I don't want to do too much. Maybe go to the fireworks. That's like a city in town cruiser. That's where it's at. Yeah.
Excuse me. And D.Brooks Cortez got a question for you.
Do I have any sponsors?
Do you have any sponsors? Well, you'll find out if you go check his channel out, y'all. Again, go check out his channel. His neighbor, right up the road, is can be a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Are you talking about my next door neighbor?
No. The
okay.
The big store that you can go to.
Yeah, I don't currently have any sponsors. The only sponsor I have is the what is it? The clock you punch when you go to work. You know what I mean? I clock in and out. We don't actually clock in and out, but basically I go to work and that's my sponsor. I do shop at Jegs. I do buy Holly if they ever want to reach out. I go to AutoZone Advance. I mean, I'm open to sponsors, but right now I'm just sponsored by these hours that I work at work. But yeah, that's where we're at.
That's where I was talking about your neighbor, Jegs, right up the road from you.
Not yet. You do have to manifest it though. If you want
sponsor. What's that? What's the one you? No. Not as a sponsor. Just as a place to. It's just the ease of walking.
Yeah, especially Jegs. You can get into a bad situation real quick. You can go up there and swipe and buy a whole bunch of stuff, same day pickup, all that. And especially when Amazon started slowing down, it was like, all right, Amazon is taking 4 to 5 days instead of next day. And Jegs I can go get it in an hour. And I can go drive there in 5 minutes. So yeah, you can definitely snowball an issue real quick, living 5 minutes away from Jag.
That's what I meant about the blessing and the curse.
Yeah,
What up,
yeah.
Durbin? What up, Heavy Chevy?
What's
We got
good,
Craig
guys?
Durbin in here.
Craig,
Uh,
Heavy Chevy.
we got Heavy Chevy dropping in, of course. Man.
He said I got Holly. Man, I just bought a Holly carburetor, man. Hopefully they start sending me some parts or something because they breaking my pockets right now. I do got stocks in Holly though.
One thing they will send you is some stickers.
Yeah, maybe
they'll make sure you got stickers. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That is for sure. This is for sure. Everybody in here, smash the like. Go ahead and if you haven't hashtag Whistle Gang, do so. Do so for me. Let me know that y'all in here. But
smash that like, yes.
Are you far as the look of a vehicle? I know the big rim thing is not for everybody. I'm just curious to where you're at on a tire setup for one of your rides. Anyway, I know.
Man, until I'm at that point where I'm doing cosmetics, I'm the cheapest. You know what I mean? Like the cheapest complete set of wheels that looks appropriate. And appropriate is a very subjective word anyways, but like those Daytons, I found those at the junkyard and I was like, I can rock with this. And then it became like, this looks good on this car. Like I'm like, you know what? Maybe we'll keep this look. I like it. But I like, I like the Ruchis. I like the big 26s on some car on B bodies. I like 26s on B bodies. But I also like 15s and white letters. Some, I don't know, like some, what is it, Firehawks, or Cougar wheels. I don't know. But, Krager wheels and, white letters. I'm cool with any of those things as long as the fitment is good. To me, it's about fitment. If your wheels are too far out and they rub and everything like that, I don't really like anything that's going to compromise my ability to drive. What's up?
All right, will you give me just a minute? I gotta bounce, get off here just so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the comments real quick. I see the comments. So while Swaps is doing that, he says, Cortez, do you have any sponsors? He has Holly. I wish I had Holly as a sponsor. Craig, what's up? Cortez, Heavy Chevy in the building. Whistle Gang, Randy Savage shades on. You know it, man. Shout out to Amazon with the shades. I might have to put the link in the description one of these days for y'all. This ain't my video, or else I would. Yep, his glasses are fire. Yeah, man, I'm an Amazon Prime member, so that's where I'll be at if I'm not at Jags or Advance or AutoZone. Recently O'Reilly's. But yeah, shout out to all those people and brands.
Yes, sir. What I mean, as far as
hustle hard.
Yes, man. We got Brandon in here, man. I appreciate everybody dropping in, man. I do. Again, drop that hashtag Whistle Gang if you haven't done it. Tall tire wall look. Yeah, he says, hey, give me some space between my rim and the ground.
Yeah, I like some tire on there. On my Trans Am, I never even talked about the Trans Am. I had a Trans Am before the channel really got to start. A 99, I believe, LS1 Trans Am. We had the Mickey Thompsons, Race Stars. I actually bought those wheels. So I've had the drag pack with the Mickey Thompsons. And then I had, the biggest wheels I think I've ever bought was 19s on my G8.
19s. And when they come out at the time, that's a big wheel.
Yeah.
20, that's a big wheel. 21, 22, big wheel. Now, hey, wait, look, speaking of big wheels, look who drops in.
Yeah, Mr.
30s himself.
Yep. Actually, I take that back. It was a 20 because I bought 19s for it. KMCs, but I ended up buying some Camaro 20s and putting on there. So yeah, the biggest wheel I ever bought was some 20s so far. Shout out to Ken 10 Customs. Maybe we'll get some wheels from Ken 10 eventually. I'm thinking about some IROCs. Shout out to LS Chevy Rider. Thinking about some
man.
IROCs too, man.
IROCs is sharp. I like them. I look. I rock my IROCs. I like IROCs.
If I get me some IROCs, I'm gonna buy that shirt from LS Chevy Rider for sure.
Shout out. I rock my IROCs.
Yeah, I think they're timeless. They're timeless, man.
They are, man. They are, and they look good almost on any old school car, no matter what it is. Whether it be B body, G body. And speaking of body, what was that Cadillac? Was that a K, F? What? Not a F, but
I think it was the Caddy. It was I think it was a D as in D Brooks, like D, very similar to the B body, but it was a little bit longer.
Gotcha.
It was weird. I can't remember if it was C or D, but I know it wasn't a B body because it was a little bit longer. But yeah.
And that's far okay. Now the YouTube thing. How the YouTube itself. Any words for someone deciding they want to jump into this, make content creator style type of thing?
I'm going to tell you something that I don't practice, so don't be like, you don't do this yourself. But consistency, and this is one thing I fail at is consistency. But from what I can tell, and when I'm watching people come up in the ranks and grow their channels, people that came up and passed me, the biggest difference was consistency. If it's 2 videos a week, consistently doing the 2 videos a week at the same time or whatever all the time, that was like what made their channel grow, just based off of what I'm seeing. I don't know statistics and the algorithm. I don't know all that stuff, but I would say just be consistent. If you're on Instagram and you post every day, be consistent. Consistency is what's going to drive your channel, whether it's 3 videos a week, 2 videos a week, or 5 videos a week. You got to have your people knowing you're going to drop videos. I'm very spontaneous. I think I'm consistently spontaneous. Like that's the one thing I'm consistently. Yeah, I'm consistently spontaneous. So I'll go live for 2 or 3 days back to back, and then lately I've been just trying to do 2 videos a week, and that's kind of where I'm at. They're not consistent Monday, Wednesday, or anything like that, but we'll get there.
Right. What up, badass? Appreciate you dropping in here. Appreciate y'all dropping in here. Again, if y'all haven't hit the sub, go ahead and do so. And if you haven't checked out D.Brooks, definitely do the same thing, man. We're definitely going to be talking to others. Like yesterday, we had Mr. Random. Before that, we had Mr. Griffin 23. So we definitely got others coming. And I was going to ask you about the favorite build. What do you consider your favorite build as of yet?
So far, my favorite build has been the G8. It'd have to be a tie between the G8 and all these other cars I haven't really got to enjoy yet. I drove the Monte Carlo that I just LS swapped, and videos are coming soon. But I haven't taken it to the track. I haven't been taking it to work or anything like that. So I haven't really got to enjoy these cars yet. But right now, I would have to say the G8 was probably my favorite. We did the swap on the rear end. Went from like 289 gears to 345s. Did a stall converter and did a cam and headers and cold air intake. It was a nice little build. It wasn't crazy, but it was a street car. And that was probably my favorite build so far. I do think one of these G bodies, once they get boosted, is going to definitely take the cake, though. Once I get a boosted LS, it's going to take the cake. G8 won't even be in the conversation.
Well, since you mentioned stall converter, could you break it down, the difference on what that higher stall felt like versus the the factory stall? You know, as far as from a driver.
Well, for me, I wasn't really a big fan. I had a 3600 stall from Circle D. Shout out to Circle D. They make good stuff. It just wasn't really what I wanted on the street with a 6-speed transmission. Um, but I felt like I was constantly like slipping through transmission, like slipping through town. I don't know if that's how it was supposed to feel, but when you punched it, it was there. You know what I mean? Like it just you had to punch it. It was like an on and off switch. And that's what I didn't like for just daily driving. Is it was like, okay, I either need to be in it or I'm slipping. It felt like I was slipping just driving around. But when you punched it, it was like you were in a race car. I wasn't a big fan of that for a street car that you need to be in the lower RPMs for. I had too much cam, too much stall. It was just not set up for the street. But at the track, it was fun. You know, racing people, it was fun. But just daily driving, it wasn't really set up for the street anymore. So,
Durbin made a comment, which is stall has to match the cam.
yeah.
There's a lot of thought, and there's a process, and there's a lot of dot your I's and cross your T's, you know, into building these cars. Although, you know, you can get on the net, or you can get on any read a forum and say just do this, and this. But you know, there's other things that plays a role in it. You know, the other you make one part beefier and not the other, something's gonna fail. That, you know, it's just a matter of time, especially if you're out there trying to put down some good numbers and show out a little bit, have a little fun.
Yeah, one thing I want to add about that converter is you got to make sure you have a good trans cooler. That was the thing that I was constantly thinking about was my transmission temps. You know, I was constantly going through my pages on the dash, just like making sure that, you know, if I was driving through town that I wasn't overheating my transmission, because I felt like that whole time your converter's just, I don't know the science behind it, but you just got to make sure you keep that transmission cool. That's the facts.
Yeah. Stall, cam, gears, and timing all have to work together. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, you was talking about, you know, doing your own thing. As far as now, are you dabbling in the tuning thing also yourself, for the LS platform or any other platform?
I've been watching some videos about HP tuners, you know, with like Low Buck Garage. I think he was the one I was watching. Obviously, Sloppy Mechanics, Goat Rope. Sloppy Mechanics is by far the easiest to digest to me, as far as like his HP Tuners 101 class. Hey, you know, and then Low Buck is kind of showing the perspective as a learner in the videos that I've been watching, and it's kind of helped me. And then if you want to get real nerdy with it, I think Goat Rope is the guy that's going to really show you the ins and outs of once you got to get to his level first. Before you can even watch his channel, I feel like you got to get familiar before you get the Goat Rope. That's how I feel about it.
With the terminology and with the placement of where certain things are within the program itself.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of them guys.
Yeah, shout out to Ken 10. He said, my motor man is Swaps that gives you automatic 200 plus horsepower. If you want more horsepower, you got to call Swaps. Swaps saved my, you know what, when tell them the story, man. You know the story about the caddy. So
well, it was man. Look, I'm always down to help, man. I want to help. That's what I feel like. I may not be helping someone through my videos because a lot of my videos are not a how-to thing. But as far as helping, and I seen that he had the Cadillac up and running, man. I was excited for him, man, because again, you know, he threw the swap together. We had, like I said, we had talked before, and we like the swap, you know, the 5.3 LS platform, you know. So and you said that you gave me a call, or you sent me a text of a picture of a cracked block, and I was like, man, what is that in? So don't say it's the Cadillac, man. Don't do that. Come to find out it was a Cadillac, and I knew, I knew that he was wanting to get that car back up and going, and how excited he was for driving the car. So I was like, man, I'm gonna help.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, man. I want to we can get this thing figured out, and we're gonna get this thing back up and going and get it on the road. And that's what we did. It may take a little longer, but we did. It did jump, man. And I appreciate you allowing me to help and trusting me enough to even give you a hand for real.
Yeah,
I appreciate
definitely.
that.
Definitely shout out to you. Thank you again. Because it was the worst. That's the worst thing that can happen. Literally, besides the car catching on. Yeah, besides the car catching on fire. Shout out to the fire extinguishers. Shout out to LS Chevy Rider. Shout out to LS Chevy Rider. But besides your car actually just burning completely down on the first start, the worst thing that can happen is it blows up. So that has happened to me, which I think it's made me calmer because I've been through that. Like, that's the worst case scenario besides literally your car burning down is you get it done and then you got a catastrophic fail.
Yes.
So that's happened.
Yes. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. Look, since y'all had helped me, what y'all need to do to help me is go ahead, hashtag that Whistle Gang in the comments. See? We got 13 in here. Let's see if we can get 13, at least half that hashtag Whistle Gangs, man. At least half of it. Yeah. At least I see 13 on my end. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I can't see it either. So. But yeah, shout out to everybody that came through. Craig, I'm just messing with LS. That's my dog, my bro. But yeah, he know what it is.
Yes, sir. And then look, we got more to come, y'all. We got more to come. We definitely gonna be chatting it up with others. Like I said, we had Mr. Random yesterday, Mr. Griffin a couple days before. Tomorrow, we are going to chat it up with none other than Mr. Resto Mod himself, man. If y'all were early in the game, we got to see some of his projects. The man's a talent. You know what I mean? Man, he gets down in that garage, man.
Yeah.
He gets down in that garage. So you'll definitely want to, check it out tomorrow. Plus, hey, salute to you, because if I'm mistaken, military too?
Yeah. Yep, yes. I was Air Force 6 years.
There we go. So, that's some stuff, man. That is some stuff. Good stuff, actually. Good stuff. And
yeah, man. But yeah,
brother.
Cortez does very neat work. It's very clean. It's nice. From what I've seen, all his work is that way. If you're ever watching his videos, his garage is always pretty neat. That's one thing I noticed about Cortez is he does a really good job of making sure his work looks good. Even though, some of us can get our stuff done, having it look good and get done is another level. I struggle with that myself. Sometimes my stuff isn't the neatest. I've been working on that, but Cortez, his stuff looks good and works. So shout out to him on that.
And man, well, I had an individual message me, and it was like, they seen the I guess the little intro thing I did, and they looked at and said, man, did he do this swap here? The last one, the Monte Carlo that you just finished? I said, yeah. So, man, that looks good.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Shout out to that person.
They definitely watching D.Brooks. So don't say that you don't put it together like that, man, because it does go together good. The Cadillac definitely came out real nice, real nice. And then, it's not fair that you wasn't able to finish up the others, with your Deltas and your wagons and your F bodies.
Yeah,
the man had a plethora of automobiles, man. He did.
Yeah, that was, I can't let myself get to that point again because I literally, I have this conversation at home before I go to bed with my wife, and it's like, I have a real problem. Like I have a problem, and right now it's okay because we're doing fine, but I have to stay off of Facebook Marketplace. I have to stay off of Facebook Marketplace because I'll be in the truck, figuring out if I'm gonna drive this car, am I gonna use like my AAA, or if I'm gonna, get a U-Haul. I'm thinking like, how can I get this car? So I have to stay off of there because there's always deals. There's always going to be deals. You have to realize that there's always going to be deals. You see that deal, you're like, oh my God, I got to jump on it. I'm never going to see that deal again. There's always deals. That's my woosah. There's always deals. Yeah. Yeah.
Lefty. Yeah, man. I remember in another live you were saying, you were talking about, I was in your live and you were talking about some of these cars that come across and you're like, man, it's a deal. And, it's one of them things where you got to stop, drop what you're doing and go take care of it now if that's what you want.
Yeah.
So that's I've yet to run across those deals, so maybe sooner or later it's possible. But we'll shall see. I definitely like what you got going on over there at Flair Motorsports. And y'all, again, haven't checked in with him, go check in with him. I mean, don't just look at what he's got going on today and, go back and check some of his stuff too, man, because it's definitely knowledge to be learned. He's helping the car community out quite a bit, And the thing about these videos or uploads as far as YouTube goes, I use them as a reference at times. I said like, whoa, what was that again? Let me go back. I can go to this video or that video or whatever that case may be, and then I'll figure out what it is.
Right.
And big shout out to Low Buck LS for, because he definitely comes checks me out from time to time. So I appreciate that, Low Buck. You mentioned his name. Big shout out to that. Big shout out to Sloppy and Matt over there at Sloppy Mechanics and Goat Rope Garage also, man. As far as the tuning goes, do you plan on going any further with it? Do you want to, you got your HB tuners, you want to go any more, do your Holly thing or any other platforms that you would like to look at?
I really want to get into the Holly platform. That was kind of the letdown with the Jeep, is I didn't get a chance to really play with that. Even though we had the Terminator X for that vehicle, we never got to that point where I was able to mess around with it and really get familiar with it. So eventually, if I could ever get my hands on one, right now I think they're on back order, from what I understand.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
So eventually, if I could ever get one for one of my cars, if Holly wants to send one out or something, I don't know. I would love to try it and give a review, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just buy it and give it a review. We'll see.
I have a coworker that's been waiting on he's got a Holly for a Ford, and if I'm mistaken, he's been waiting more than 8 weeks for it.
Yeah. So
what up, MC? We got MC in here, man. Look at him. MC Chevy Gang.
MC, what's good, brother? Shout out to you.
Chevy Gang. Yes, sir, man.
Appreciate you.
D.Brooks, man, if there's anything else you want to put out there, let the people know, please do so. You know what I'm saying? And are you going to bring back the kickback segment to your channel?
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. That's the blanket answer. Stay tuned. I wasn't even thinking about that until you mentioned it. Right now I've got a lot of content that I got to get edited. So there's some videos that I'm working on getting out to you guys. I'm kind of in build mode right now. I feel like the Kickback's a great show for the winter. When I think it's a fall winter segment. But if it picks up traction again this year, maybe we'll continue it through the next summer. But I really feel like it's a fall winter segment when it's dark early and stuff like that. It's a great time because most of us right now, we're trying to get to it anyways, So
when we're not at work.
Yeah, when we're not at work, we're trying to get to it, So maybe in the fall we'll bring back the Kickback. We might do a pop-up every now and then, but really I don't want to say that we're bringing that back anytime soon. It'll probably be in the fall when we bring that back.
Well, y'all heard it here, man. Mr. D. Brooks, Flair Motorsports. His link will be in the description. If I'm mistaken, he may have dropped it in the chat also.
Yes, sir.
If you go back to the intro, his link is in that description too. Um, so be sure to go and check him out. Like I said, don't just watch what you see in the past however long. Just go back and check some of the content because you're definitely going to get a treat, man. You're going to get some good information and some good laughs too, man. You get some
Yeah.
good laughs, so that also helps. So D Brooks, man, I don't want to keep you anymore. I appreciate your time. I appreciate every last one of y'all that dropped in and chimed in, dropped the whistle gang for me. I appreciate that. The thumbs up. I'm definitely trying to bring y'all some more content, but as of right now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do things a little different here. We're gonna do things with some whistle gang conversations. And not necessarily everybody's got to be part of the whistle gang as far as having a turbo. That's not what it's all about, man. You out there DIYing it, you working on it. Hey, you doing your thing. I sure appreciate it. Sweet Pea, thank you very much. Again, go check him out. Y'all have a very blessed rest of the day or evening. And we are going to sign off.